I still can't believe I'm actually typing this out. Like, my fingers are shaking on the keyboard and I've gone through half a box of Kleenex already. But I need to get this off my chest, and y'all seem like the only people who might understand how messed up this whole situation is. So picture this. I'm 18, just graduated high school with honors, 4.2 GPA, thank you very much, and got a partial scholarship to Northwestern. Not full ride or anything, but enough to make a dent in those crazy tuition bills. I've been busting my butt since freshman year for this moment. Study groups at Starbucks until closing time, passing up Coachella with my friends to prep for the SATs, the whole 9 yards. My mom passed when I was 12, and my dad remarried Janet when I was 14. Janet brought along her daughter Tiffany, who's 2 years older than me but acts like she's still in middle school. She dropped out of community college after one semester to find herself, translation, party, and post TikToks from her bedroom. Dad and I had this agreement since I was little. He'd save for my college, and I'd keep my grades up. I knew there was a college fund with around $60K in it. Not enough for all 4 years at Northwestern, but combined with my scholarship and some student loans, I could make it work. So yesterday was my graduation party. Nothing fancy, just a backyard cookout at our house with a white picket fence. Peak Midwest, I know. Some family, some neighbors, some friends. Dad was grilling burgers. I was in my cap and gown for the obligatory photos, and everything seemed normal. Then came time for speeches. My best friend Emma said some sweet stuff. My favorite teacher dropped by with flowers, and my dad was about to speak when Janet literally grabbed the mic from him. "Before we continue celebrating Abby," she said, all sugary sweet, "we have an even more exciting announcement. Y'all, my stomach dropped faster than when you hit that first big hill on a roller coaster." Janet called Tiffany over, who was wearing this super tight Forever 21 dress, and put her hand on Tiffany's still flat stomach. "We're going to be grandparents." Janet squealed like she just won the Powerball. The crowd went wild, all oohs and ahs and congratulations. Meanwhile, I'm standing there in my cap and gown feeling like I'm in some bizarre episode of The Twilight Zone. But wait, it gets worse. Janet starts going on about how life happens and how family has to adapt to unexpected blessings. Then she drops the bomb. "Michael and I have decided that Tiffany and the baby need our financial support right now. So we're repurposing Abby's college fund, all $60,000 of it, as a baby gift. Abby's got scholarships and she's so smart. She'll figure something out." The crowd went dead silent. Like you could hear the ice melting in the coolers. I looked at my dad, waiting for him to say this was some sick joke. He just laughed nervously and said, "You'll survive, kiddo. You always do." I don't remember much after that. I think I smiled and nodded like some robot because I was raised not to make scenes. The party kind of awkwardly continued. Some of my friends tried to check on me, but what was I gonna say? Later, that night, I confronted my dad in the kitchen, asked him how he could do this. Know what he said? "Look, Abby, I know it seems unfair, but Tiffany's having a baby. A whole human life. College can wait. Besides, Janet's been pushing for this, and I need to support my wife." I wanted to scream that I was his daughter, not some charity case he could just toss aside. But instead, I just went to my room and cried until my eyes felt like sandpaper. This morning, while everyone was still sleeping, I made a call. To my maternal grandmother, my mom's mom. We haven't been close since Mom died because Janet thought it was healthier for everyone to move forward. In reality, Janet just didn't want anyone around who remembered my mom. Turns out Grandma's been trying to contact me for years, and get this, she owns Midwest Realty Partners. Yeah, the same company where my dad is a regional manager. The one that pays for our house with the white picket fence and Janet's Lexus SUV. Grandma's coming over tomorrow. She says she has a plan. I don't know what's going to happen, but for the first time since yesterday, I feel like maybe, just maybe, I'm not completely screwed. I'll update when I know more. Thanks for reading this far if you did. It helps just to get it out there. Updated. Holy guacamole, you guys. The last 48 hours have been wild, like Netflix original series level drama. I'm still processing everything, but I promised an update. So here goes. After I posted, I got so many supportive comments and DMs that I legit started crying again. But the good kind of crying, you know? The kind where you realize you're not crazy for feeling betrayed. So thank you all for that virtual hug when I needed it most. So yesterday, Grandma Eleanor showed up at our door at exactly 10 a.m. Picture this tiny but fierce lady in her 70s, rocking a Chanel suit and driving a Mercedes that costs more than our house. Janet nearly fainted when she opened the door. "Eleanor, what a..." "Surprise," Janet stammered, blocking the doorway like she was guarding Fort Knox. "Janet," Grandma said with this Arctic smile, "I believe you've been expecting me." Dad came rushing to the door in his weekend Levi's and Target polo, looking like he'd seen a ghost. Eleanor, we weren't. Michael, darling, Grandma cut him off. I'm here to see my granddaughter, the one whose graduation party I wasn't invited to. The shade was immaculate. Chef's kiss. Dad let her in, and Janet scurried off to tidy up. Reed panic text Tiffany to get her butt home ASAP. Grandma just walked straight to me, wrapped me in a hug that smelled like Chanel No. 5 and whispered, "I've got you, sweetheart." We sat in the living room, me, Dad, Janet, and Grandma, all pretending this was a normal family visit. The tension was thicker than the peanut butter at the bottom of the jar. "So," Grandma said, setting her designer purse on the coffee table like it was a briefcase full of evidence. "I understand there was a graduation party." "Yes, just a small gathering," Janet replied, fidgeting with her David Yurman bracelet. "Family only." "I see," Grandma said, her voice sharper than my ex-best friend's acrylic nails. "And I also understand there's been a financial decision made regarding Abigail's education." Dad shifted in his seat like he was sitting on a cactus. "Eleanor, with all due respect, how we handle our family finances is—" "Michael," Grandma interrupted. "Let me stop you right there. When my daughter married you, she made me promise to stay out of your lives unless absolutely necessary. I've honored that promise for 6 years since her death. But this—" She gestured toward me. "This crosses a line." That's when Tiffany burst through the front door in her Lululemon athleisure, looking confused. "Mom, what's going on? Why did you text me 911? Grandma turned to her with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Ah, the mother-to-be. Congratulations, dear. Please join us. This concerns you too." The next hour was the most educational hour of my life. Turns out, chapter. My mom set up a trust for me before she died, separate from the college fund Dad had been saving. The trust was worth over $250,000 and specifically earmarked for education. Dad had been dipping into it for years, transferring money to his and Janet's personal accounts. The $60K they gave to Tiffany? Yeah, that was what was left of my trust. Grandma, as trustee, had been sending letters and emails for years, which Janet had apparently been intercepting, warning Dad about the legal consequences of misappropriating trust funds. Dad's position at Midwest Realty? Yeah, Grandma had given him that job after Mom died as a way to help support our family, and he'd been embezzling from the company too. The look on Janet's face when all this came out, priceless. Like someone told her Nordstrom was going out of business. "This is ridiculous," Janet sputtered. "Michael would never—" "Save it," Grandma said, pulling out a folder with bank statements. "It's all here in black and white. Wire transfers, forged signatures, the works." Dad just sat there, staring at his Nikes like they held the secrets of the universe. "So here's what happens now," Grandma continued, cool as a cucumber. "Option 1, I file charges for embezzlement and trust fund fraud, and you both potentially go to jail." Janet let out this weird squeaking sound like someone stepping on a dog toy. "Option 2, Michael, you resign from the company effective immediately. The house, which is company property, by the way, will need to be vacated within 30 days. The remaining trust money goes back to Abigail where it belongs, and I expect full restitution of the missing funds within 6 months. Dad finally looked up, his face ashen. "Eleanor, please, we can work something out. I've been under a lot of pressure. Save it for your therapist, Michael, which, by the way, I strongly recommend you get." Grandma turned to me. "Abigail, pack what you need for now. You're coming with me." I swear, in that moment, I felt like I was in one of those movies where the quiet, bullied kid finally stands up to the mean girls. Except Grandma was doing this standing up for me and doing it like a boss. Tiffany, who'd been uncharacteristically quiet this whole time, suddenly burst into tears. "But what about the baby? What about my future?" Grandma looked at her with something almost like pity. "Honey, being a parent means putting your child first. Something your mother and stepfather should have learned a long time ago. You're welcome to get a job like every other adult in America." And that was that. I packed 2 suitcases, my laptop, and Mr. Whiskers, my stuffed cat from Mom that I've had since I was 5. Judge me, I don't care. Janet tried to stop me in the hallway, all tearful, and "We're still family," but I just walked past her. As Grandma and I were leaving, Dad grabbed my arm. "Abby, please, don't do this." I looked him straight in the eye and said, "You'll survive." "Dad, you always do." "Mike, drop." I've been at Grandma's mansion, yes, mansion, think Beverly Hills but in the Midwest, for the past 24 hours. She's already hired a lawyer to handle the trust situation and reached out to Northwestern about my enrollment for fall. Turns out, when your grandmother is on the board of trustees at the university, another fun fact I just learned, things tend to move pretty quickly. There's more to tell, but this update is already super long. I'll post a final update soon with what happens with the house situation and whether Dad and Janet try to fight back. Spoiler, Grandma says they won't if they have any sense left. Thank you all again for the support. It's still surreal, but for the first time in a long time, I feel like someone's actually got my back. Final update. Okay, y'all, this will be my last update on this crazy situation because, honestly, I'm ready to close this chapter and move forward. It's been 3 months since everything went down, and the karma train came rolling in faster than I ever could have imagined. Dad and Janet couldn't make the mortgage payments without Dad's job, so they had to move to a tiny apartment across town. Tiffany moved in with them, and from what I hear through mutual friends, it's not going well. 3 adults in a 2-bedroom apartment, with 1 bathroom and a baby on the way? Yikes. Last week, I got a text from Dad. Abby, we need to talk. Things are tough right now. Then Janet called, actually sobbing, saying they might lose the apartment too. Tiffany's baby daddy bailed. Shock of the century. And she needs constant emotional support and prenatal care. They asked if I could find it in my heart to help them out. Maybe talk to Grandma about giving Dad his job back. The irony is insane. 3 months ago, they stole my future and told me to figure it out. Now they're begging for my help. I told them I'd think about it. And I did. Called them back yesterday and said I'd help on 3 conditions. Dad starts therapy to deal with his inability to stand up to Janet too. They pay back every cent they took from my trust 3. They both apologize in writing for what they did. They agreed to everything. Desperation is a powerful motivator. Meanwhile, I moved into my dorm at Northwestern last weekend. My room is awesome, my roommate seems cool, and I'm actually excited about my classes. Grandma set up a new, ironclad trust that only I can access when I turn 21, and is paying my expenses until then. Life's funny sometimes. 3 months ago, I thought my future was over. Now I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, stronger and wiser than before. Thanks for coming along on this wild ride with me, Reddit. Your support meant everything when I needed it most. I'm gonna be okay. Better than okay. TLDR. My stepmom and dad stole my college fund, gave it to my pregnant sister, and laughed in my face. My badass grandmother swooped in, exposed their fraud, got my dad fired, made them move out of their house, and set me up with more money than they stole. Now they're broke and begging for my help, which I'll give, but on my terms.